It's time for Windows Weekly. Paul Thurrott's here. Mary Jo Foley's here. We'll talk about the new perpetual license version of Microsoft Office. We've got a very interesting Windows mystery we're going to try to solve. It has to do with the appearance of the settings control panel. And then how buying Pop-Tarts, Pringles, or Cheez-Its can save you money on your Xbox Game Pass. It's all coming up next on Windows Weekly.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Windows Weekly with Paul Thurrott and Mary Jo Foley. Episode 713, recorded Wednesday, February 24th, 2021. Pot-Bellied Mastodons. This episode of Windows Weekly is brought to you by Eset. Eset protects businesses worldwide with internet security products and services backed by world-class research and tech support. Get your free Eset business trial and an interactive demo at business.eset.com/twit and save 20% on Eset Protect bundles for a limited time. And by Conga. Experience Conga's new brand and have some fun by testing your trivia knowledge. They'll be donating to a charity that supports COVID relief efforts. Go to conga.com/twit today. It's time for Windows Weekly, the show where we cover the latest news from Microsoft. Hello, everybody. Joining us now, the dynamic duo of Microsoft reporting, Mary Jo Foley from ZDNet, allaboutmicrosoft.com, Paul Thurrott. I like you did the dance.
All right, just saw some really good news.
The dance. Oh, it wasn't for the introduction. It was just you saw some good news. He is with Thurrott.com. So what's the good news, Paul?
The stupidest folder in all of Windows is going to be removed in the future, and that folder is 3D objects.
They finally given up.
I've always why on earth? Like you open up File Explorer.
That dates back, right? That dates back to when they were going to use HoloLens for consumer stuff.
And Paint 3D was going to replace Paint, remember? Yep. Yeah, so finally, it's in the dev channel now. They got rid of this folder. Stupid folder.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
I remember that event that they led with how all you're going to be able to do these great 3D things. And
yeah, because you know how we're all doing 3D.
Paint 3D.
Windows users.
And then
Word documents, we
you're
got
going to be able
PDFs
to take them,
and Excel.
It's going to be incredible.
3D fireballs shooting out of dragons at kids playing soccer. It's fun.
This is a really good example of kind of what happens, I guess, in the tech world. It used to be when there were green fields all around us and plenty of places that a company could devote its energies to. They asked users, what would you like next? But now we got everything. So
Microsoft said yes to everything. They're very accommodating.
So they're just making crap up and seeing, you want this?
They're worse than that. They're like, they fly in high speed, they drop the bomb, and then they leave. They don't check to make sure everything's working okay. They don't care if anyone's using it.
They're not alone in this. I mean, look at Google,
I know.
Okay.
They're not alone in this. And actually, it's my contention, although I seem to be the only one thinking this, that Apple's big bet on AR is kind of like Microsoft's big bet on 3D.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to say this. If Apple can't make AR afloat, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And it's not like everybody's out there saying, gosh, the one thing missing from my PDF is a 3D model of a helicopter. That would make such a difference.
If only while I was reading this, the images were coming off the page in 3D, it would be amazing.
Flying at me. Yeah. So you see, we did have breaking news at the top of the show. I thought it was going to be about the Federal Reserve banking services
being down. You guys were screwing around with this nonsense about the Federal Reserve, and I was looking at the important issues of the day.
Important stuff. Oh, you see, you tune in for the really big stories.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Have a wonderful weekend.
Sleep securely knowing that 3D objects is going away.
Come on, we're not saying Tiger Woods was the big story. We're saying 3D objects.
Yeah, I was mentioning before the show began that I tried to watch the news last night. CNN, 36 minutes of, and I know because I record it and then I can fast forward through it. It was 36 minutes into the hour-long Anderson Cooper show that they finally had something besides Tiger Woods. It's one of those things. They had a reporter out walking through bushes
Sure.
Saying, this is where the car turned over and over and finally landed. And he says, you see where that reporter is from another company with a camera? That's where the car finally landed. And then he waits. Now we can go over. It was like, oh my God,
See, they should do that for this Microsoft story. They could be like, this is the office on the Microsoft Redmond campus where some mid-level corporate drone decided that 3D objects would no longer be included.
It's got to be a guy with a British accent to really make it work. Inside this building.
Right.
So let's actually get to the real Windows 10 news that everybody tuned in for.
3D objects.
Okay. Okay.
No, we have some big news.
There is big news. 21H1.
No.
Oh, I'm looking at last week.
I'm like, no, we have really big news.
I'm looking at last week.
21H1
That's why you weren't
so
excited.
yesterday.
You were like, 21H1 again.
I think we already did this. No, Office news.
Yeah.
I feel like we could do last week's show better. Let's just do it again.
Let's do it over.
Nice try, kids. Let's do another take. Okay, I'm in
Sorry,
some weird
we weren't
mode where
recording.
everything I click gets added to the selection. So I can't actually, I'm in OneNote.
in Windows, you can
Everything
just
I
keep
click
adding stuff.
is highlighted. I got in some weird mode where I'm adding
Yeah.
instead of clicking. All right, you go ahead
like
and I'll catch up.
The touchpad isn't working correctly or something.
I don't know what's happening. Go ahead. You talk. I'll
Tell
click.
you about
Yeah.
the next Office, the next Microsoft Office, the perpetual version, which means the one you pay for once, not the cloud version, right? So we knew there was going to be another perpetual version of Office, but we didn't have a lot of details about it. And then Microsoft just gave us some more details recently. So now we know. Here's the interesting thing. There's two different Office clients that are coming. So there's one that's going to be called Office LTSC. So LTSC stands for Long-Term Servicing Channel. And that is going to be for business customers and for government customers. It's going to just be the usual Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. But I guess the difference is going to be, at least one difference is going to be how long they're supported. In the past, anything that was called LTSC was automatically 10 years of support, 5 years mainstream, 5 years extended. But now, as of the new version of Office coming later this year, it's only going to be supported for 5 years total.
So it's not perpetual.
Right. It's 5 years perpetual, right?
I feel like
yeah.
every episode, this is just therapy, isn't it? This is all this is.
It's Paul's
It
therapy
is.
session.
It is.
And
We have to all
then
hold hands.
They did.
We're
to
going to
make
leave
something
here
else.
feeling better about what's happening, even though we don't like it.
I'm surprised because I really thought Microsoft did not want to do a perpetual version anymore. I guess they have to, though.
So they have to. There are people who need it, and people who want it, and people who will pay for it. Right?
And commercial customers, right? I mean,
Yeah, commercial customers.
There
yeah.
are people, but the important customers are those big businesses that demand this.
And because we do the subscription, why do they want a perpetual license?
They don't like nice things, Leo.
It's
Want
more
things to
expensive,
improve
isn't
or
it?
change. Well,
No, some people, I guess, need Office to be on mission critical systems that where they don't want it to always be changing, right? They don't want to get feature updates and all kinds of things like that. They want to get Office, and they want to keep Office in like a static form, right?
Okay.
They don't want it moving around.
Yeah, and the truth is they don't need to have it move
Right.
around.
But if you look at the if you look at the way Microsoft announced this, though, it was like they were chiding users again, like, so guys, we don't want you to be using this like to avoid getting updates. Like, that's not the reason for the long-term servicing channel. It's just meant for specific use cases where you shouldn't have it update. But if you're one of those people using it to just avoid updates, we don't want you to do that. So please don't do that.
How much is it? Because I could do a little math, and I bet you. So it was about $700. I don't
How
remember.
much is Office anymore? I know. I don't even know.
Who knows? But I'm just saying,
it's like
5 years divided. Let's say 700 divided by 5
but you have to-
years.
so that's the problem is you have to look at different. There are different SKUs.
Right.
So you can get like as an individual, there's like a home and student product that's probably $150.
Yeah, that's not expensive. Yeah,
No, I mean, and so why
compared to
would you go
the
from
whatever
that?
$6 or $7 a month you might be paying.
Yeah, but when you got to think of like, I think the reason Microsoft 365 now sells in the individual consumer space would be families, where you have multiple people who are all going to access the stuff. They all get a terabyte of storage. It's
a good deal.
It enters no-brainer territory. Yeah. I would say it does on the commercial side too. But yeah, Office, I'd have to find, I don't know if I can find this anywhere, but the Office 2019 perpetual pricing probably does get pretty high as you move
It's
up
expensive, right?
I remember the sticker shock going into a Staples, and because I wanted to buy the box, and it was $700 or $800.
Yeah, it's definitely expensive.
Yeah, but can you do a la carte? Can I just buy Word?
Yeah, you can, but that's expensive too. Yeah.
Home and Business 2019 is only $250 one-time purchase.
Compared to that makes about so it's about $72 a year, but you can only use it on one PC or one Mac. Yeah.
Right.
And you don't get that storage.
Yeah.
Microsoft 365 commercial, the cheapest one. Well, the cheapest one's probably $499, but let's say there's something called Apps for Business. I've never even heard of this. Anyway, $825 a month. Business Standard is $1250 a month. But you can install both those products in up to 5 PCs or Macs, 5 tablets, 5 mobile devices, and then the terabyte of storage.
So it's safe to say Microsoft still really wants you to subscribe. But if you must, we'll sell you a box, but it's going to cost you.
Yep. Yeah. And they even said, I think it's fair, right? Like if you need it to be that way, right? And you want it and you're willing to pay for it, why not? They also said last week or this week, whenever they made this proclamation, that there's going to be another version of Perpetual after this one. Like this isn't the end of the line, right? Like they're going to do it again at least once.
It's
so
not
there are
called
people
Perpetual
who need
for no reason, Mary Jo.
Exactly.
It has to just keep going and going.
I know. Yeah. So, the way they described it is Office LTSC is for a, quote, limited set of specific situations. And they said like process control devices in manufacturing, systems that are locked, things where you aren't supposed to or can't touch Office and Windows usually too. And so if you get this perpetual version it's going to be in preview form for commercial customers in April. We don't know when it's going to be in preview for consumers. And that version is called Office 2021, by the way. So they have 2 different names, Office LTSC and Office 2021, but they're the same basic product, we think.
Have they already dropped the number branding from LTSC, or is that new to this version? Is that already something
new to this version? Okay. Yep. Yeah, so it's not Office LTSC 2021. It's just plain old Office LTSC. Yeah. And so they said what you'll get in it is a subset of features. You won't get everything, obviously, that's in the cloud version of Office. But they did say you'll get things like dynamic arrays, an XLOOKUP for Excel, dark mode support across multiple apps, and performance improvements across the individual apps. So not all the cool AI type features that they tout a lot of times, but you'll get some new things, but not a lot.
Well, I mean, but these are new things kind of compared on a version by version basis. So if you're in a Microsoft 365, you get new features over time. So, for example, like the dark mode support. Right now it's in Word only in the Insider program, but you can get that now if you want. Eventually that dark mode across multiple apps, I'm sure, will be everywhere. Or in multiple apps anyway, and you get that, right? I mean, so if you're in Office 2019, you're never getting that. Like that's never coming to you. Yeah. You're perpetually, in this case, on the same. You're on that version. It's not getting upgrades, or feature upgrades.
Yep.
That's what you wanted. Somebody, I had forgotten that businesses pay a lot more. Some a PC guy 8088 says it's $150 per seat for Office Pro for business. So it is still expensive, even the subscription.
Yeah, but you have to look at what you're getting because I'd have to look too. I don't know off the top of my head.
Well,
but I mean,
it's kind of unclear.
As you go up
the pricing,
as you go up the price level, you get more and more stuff.
Right. Right.
And they did say, as of this release, the SKUs like Office Pro Plus, Office Standard, and the individual perpetual apps is all going to increase up to 10%. So they're trying to squeeze you. They don't want you to use this version, but they're
interesting.
making it available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only if you must.
Only
Don't you
if
feel like
must.
this is almost like a legal thing? I could imagine customers like suing Microsoft by not making this thing available somehow, in some.
If you're the Federal Reserve Bank,
yeah.
you probably don't want Office to be changing all the time. You got to train people.
Then again, if you stayed up to date, maybe you'd still be online. You know, it's kind of hard to say.
Let's just check. Nope, still down. Yeah.
Still down.
A lot of red X's there. One thing came back. Fed cash came back.
I think they have like 2 nines of reliability over there.
2 nights. Every other Sunday, unless it's
2
a leap
eights.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw, LinkedIn went down for like an hour plus yesterday. And we always joke about LinkedIn, like, oh, do people really love LinkedIn? It was unbelievable how many people were pinging me about LinkedIn being down. I was like, oh, man, people are upset.
We use it a lot.
But I guess, to know like that it's down and you keep pinging it and you're like, it's still down. It's still down. Microsoft, why is it down?
I can't get in.
Okay, like people really want their LinkedIn, I guess. All right.
People are funny about social networks.
They are.
It's almost as if they're addicted. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need something where I can just scroll and never hit an end of anything.
Yeah.
Is that
what would
the
that
thing?
What would that be? Where can I get that?
Full of hate and nonsense.
Yeah, that's what I
You
want.
got it.
Yeah, actually, LinkedIn is of the social networks. Besides maybe Pinterest. Did you get the? I have to look at your notes. Did you get? There's a big Pinterest Microsoft story.
No, it's not in there, but we can talk about that.
Yeah, we should add that.
In fact, we'll do that next because
Breaking news.
I know.
They're not.
It didn't make my bar, but yeah, we could.
So Leo has again ruined your.
No, we can talk about it. That's fine.
We can.
Stories from outside the tech world. Well, just briefly.
And we should talk about servers. Hold on. Let me just mention.
Yes.
If you're wondering, what about Exchange servers?
Yes, what about
SharePoint
Exchange servers?
Right.
Yeah.
So those are also going to get perpetual versions in the second half of this year. But I don't know if you remember this, around Ignite Fall, they said, if you want those, you still have to buy a subscription license in addition to buying the perpetual, because that's the only way you're going to get any kind of security updates, product updates, and time zone patches. So it's called perpetual, but you're still like subscribing because you need to get the updates.
They should call it Perpetual Plus. That's some good Office branding right there.
But what do they kind of make a promise? We won't change features, or none of the UI will change, something like that.
Yeah, I think they want to keep it as stable as possible, but add some new features again, just like the client. But
Those
not
products
everything.
have got to be limited in nature now compared to how they used to be, right? Like specific workloads, that kind of thing. They got to be.
Yeah, like why would you be running Skype for Business server on premises at this point?
Like I know Windows Server has moved in that direction, but it seems like the Office servers might, specific functionality is going to require a cloud-based service or we'll just call it a server.
Unless you're a giant company. I mean, I imagine, humongous
Unless
companies run their own servers.
Yeah. Regulatory requirements sometimes.
Well, that's right.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to keep things
right, of course. But what I mean is like specific functionality, like you may literally need to. There's like some of the newer things might only be available in the Microsoft 365 versions of these servers.
Right. Yes.
I would think. I'm just guessing.
I would think so also. Yes. Yeah, because there's some things you need to be online to do, right? Like if you're
like
especially
email.
I think like sending an email. No, like all those AI kinds of things they do where they're like giving you text suggestions in real time, right? Like you have to be online and on the web to do that. I mean, they can't do it if you're offline or not connected to the internet. So, yeah. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. And of course, because I obsess over names and product names, but it's weird they're calling this Office 2021 to me, because they said it's going to be out in the latter half of did they say latter half or not? I just think the name is interesting because in the past, when Microsoft called something with a date, a specific date, it meant it would be out in the first half of the year if it had 2021, and the second half if they called it 2022.
Yeah, but I think that's telling too. They don't care. They want this thing to seem old-fashioned,
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Right? I mean, I don't think they're like, whatever. This is the year it's shipped. Who cares?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's going to come out earlier than we think, right? Like maybe it will be out around mid-year.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it will be at the top of my news list when it does happen, whatever
I know it will. Right next to Tiger Woods. I know it will be right there.
All right, Leo, you're going to drag this podcast into Pinterest territory again. What's
I am.
Yeah.
I am. Apparently, you're now going to get a Pinterest share button on some Microsoft pages.
So I think you can embed
telling.
Pinterest. What's the thing?
Pin me.
Pinterest pins.
Pin me.
How come they don't call them P-ins? Doesn't matter. Anyway, you're going to be able to embed Pinterest pins in what? Word
and OneNote.
OneNote?
Yeah.
OneNote. Yep.
This is aimed at students, according to Tom Warren, but I don't know if that's...
Well, that makes sense. And then I guess they'll be like rich. I don't know what pins are like, but who cares? I don't know.
Come on. I thought over the weekend you were going to reinvigorate your pinning.
I did, but then I went to the site and I was like, oh, God.
Over the past few years, we've heard many requests for a Pinterest integration with OneNote, explains Mike Tholfsen, a product manager on Microsoft's education team. So there you have it.
I know. And so that gets people thinking again, so they're still talking to Pinterest.
Yeah, I think that's unrelated, probably. Right? Yeah. Pinterest support was built into the collections feature inside Edge last year.
Yep.
So I think this is just an ongoing attempt to stay relevant. With the kids.
Something to
with the
appeal
kids.
to the kids.
Yeah,
exactly.
got to have the kids. Next Snapchat filters in Microsoft Word. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. That's what's going to put the PC over the top in 2021.
Actually, it's interesting. They cut the LTSC term from 10 years to 5 years. Kind of makes sense with Office. But I see they're doing the same thing for Windows 10.
Let's see if there's any blowback to this one.
Is it 5 years they're going to make the LTSC?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Windows 10 Enterprise LTSC, typically 10 years of support, 5 years mainstream, 5 years extended, except this year, it's going to be 5 years total.
Huh.
And again, same warnings by Microsoft, like, guys, we don't want you to be using this to avoid, Windows 10 updates.
Yeah.
Right.
More and more important.
Supposed to be for mission critical systems,
Right.
special cases. Yeah.
The ATM machine.
So if you're using LTSC 2015, 16, or 19, you are not affected. So you still get your 10 years. But the one that's coming out this year, second half of 2021, you will only get 5 years. So yeah, I am interested too to see if there's blowback. I saw a lot of people, grouching about it on Twitter, but let's see if real customers care. They're telling people who really, really need the full 10 years. This is interesting. They're saying to them, what you can do is you can use the IoT version of Windows 10.
What?
Yeah. Although, you know what? That makes sense in a way.
What is that, for the Raspberry Pi? What is the IoT version?
Exactly.
No. So there's a product called Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSC. So if you think about what they're saying is the use case for LTSC, it's supposed to be like something that's embedded, basically, right? Like something where you can't touch the system, you shouldn't touch the system, mission critical manufacturing systems, those kinds of things. Yeah. So in a way, it kind of makes sense that you would use the IoT version, and they are going to continue to give anyone using that version 10 years of support.
Windows 10 for kiosks.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Windows 10 inside a Coke machine. Those.
Yeah, that's just what you want. At the airport. Places like that.
Yeah.
Inside my new car.
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not.
That's probably what happened at Tiger.
Oh, yeah.
Windows 10 IoT thing going in there.
Blue screen of... I don't want to say it. Let's take a little break, and then when we come back, we shall continue onward in our thrust with the feature experience. The feat,
That
thing. Paul Thurrott, Mary Jo Foley, and Windows Weekly. You have the very good sense to be listening to the best podcast about Microsoft in the whole wide world. Our show today brought to you by Eset. Eset, I've been talking about Eset for 10 years at least. It was always my favorite antivirus because it was very lightweight, did have very minimal system impact, and yet very accurate, very up-to-date. Little did I know, and I don't think it was because of me, but we've been using Eset at the business for some time. Eset for Business. Enterprise-grade security, easy to manage for a small business like ours. We don't have a full-time IT department. We've got Russell. He's a managed service provider, and he loves it. Well, I'll give you a couple of reasons why he loves it. I mean, I love it because of the light system footprint. We have it on, for instance, the editor's machines. And when you put it on an edit machine, you don't want it to slow down. I mean, rendering speeds, everything the editors do, it needs to be fast. And that's why we love Eset. Two exciting new developments recently. They've just introduced their brand new endpoint security management platform. They call it Eset Protect. One of the main features of the new Eset Protect Cloud, and this is why I think Russell loves it, cloud-based management for businesses of all sizes. No restrictions on seat size, and Russell doesn't have to be on-prem to manage it, to keep an eye on it, to know when something bad's happening, to fix, unlike the Federal Reserve Board, this podcast has to stay up. Eset Protect also takes security to a whole new level with some of the bundled products. These are new. Enhanced protection against ransomware. I'm always saying to Russell, are we okay? Do we have to worry about ransomware? He says, no, we're good. Zero-day threats, too. It's really cool what they do for zero-day threats. I'll tell you about that in a second. They also offer, this is a nice feature, full disk data encryption capabilities for Windows and Mac OS. Really nice. Beyond the operating system. I think it's brilliant. Right now, you can save 20% on all these new bundles, so you're not only getting the best-in-class cloud-managed protection against advanced attacks, you're enjoying a significant discount. If you're an MSP, you should check it out. They have great deals for managed service providers, for small businesses, resellers. Eset Protect Advanced, I think that's the one we're using. That's the bundle that has all the security needed along with that cloud-based management console. One of the things I mentioned they do that's really, really cool in Eset Protect Advanced, 0 days are a problem, right? Because these are viruses no one's seen before, but suddenly they're attacking. We see more and more 0 days all the time, and it's a hard thing to protect against if you're just doing the standard, well, download some virus definitions. You don't know about it yet. So I think what Eset does is brilliant. When when email attachments come in, things like that, before they hit the inbox of our employees, Eset uploads these attachments to the cloud, executes them, literally executes them in a sandbox, and watches behavior, makes sure it's okay. Only if it's completely benign will it then get into the inbox. That's incredible. Cloud sandboxing, especially for 0-day threats. There's an endpoint protection platform. Nowadays, everybody's working from home. Our employees aren't here. They're not in the studio. They're not in the offices. They're working from home. We need that endpoint protection platform. I mentioned the full disk encryption, file server security, that cloud-based console. Russell loves that. If you prefer, you can get on-prem management, of course, because Eset is very flexible. Eset Protect offers you on-prem as well as cloud. Either way, you're getting powerful, reliable security based on 30 years of research and innovation. There's a free trial waiting for you and an interactive demo if you go to business.eset.com/twit, E-S-E-T. They just got top ratings in AV comparatives, and I know you know about AV comparatives. These are the guys. They did an endpoint prevention and response comparative report. They tested 9 vendors. Eset not only achieved the highest combined prevention and response score in the test, but also demonstrated outstanding overall detection and reporting capabilities. They gave them the rating strategic leader, which means a product that has a very high return on investment, low cost, total cost of ownership, exceptional technical capabilities. This is the one, this AV Comparatives Endpoint Prevention and Response Comparative Report, and Eset aced it. Another reason why you want to take a look at this. Free business trial awaiting you right now at business.eset.com/twit. There's also an interactive demo there so you can see what the cloud console looks like. By the way, you'll also save 20%. I almost left out the best part. You'll also save 20% on Eset Protect bundles with this limited time offer, so take advantage of it. Future-proof your business, even against 0 days. There's so much good in this. Take a look at the demo, business.eset.com/twit. Take advantage of that 20% discount. Get a free business trial if you want. business.eset.com/twit. We thank them so much for supporting Windows Weekly and Paul and Mary Jo. And we thank you for supporting Paul and Mary Jo by using that special address so they know you saw it here. Mary Jo and Paul know you saw it here, but so that Eset knows you saw it here. Business.eset.com/twit.
I want to know too, so just send me an email when you do it.
Yeah. So email Paul, say, hey, I used it. Okay. No, don't. Please don't. Please don't. It's not necessary. On we go. Let's talk next about, I'm going to say it right this time, the Feature
There it is.
Feature Experience Pack for Windows 10 Insider Preview, or FEPW10IP.
I'm just going to call it a FEP.
A FEP.
Feature Experience Pack.
It's a fait accompli.
Microsoft is so successful updating Windows 10 that they're introducing a new way to update Windows 10.
No, what?
It's called
No.
the Windows Feature Experience Pack.
What?
They announced this. Well, Windows Feature Experience Pack has been in the Windows 10 UI for, what, a year or something like that? I mean, they never really explained it. And then late last year, they said they kind of came clean on what it was. They're testing Feature Experience Pack updates in the beta and I think the dev channel as well, if I'm not mistaken.
This is not a plus pack. Or is
no,
it?
It's just a way to update OS components outside of the OS updates.
So
right?
that's the problem with that name, because it sounds like a plus pack.
It does.
Well, they're features. Well, actually, so it's been pretty lame so far. I get the idea that they're kind of testing this system more than they are the actual features, right? You know, the first FEP, Feature Experience Pack from, I think last December, if I'm not mistaken, it just improved the reliability of the handwriting input panel. The second one actually added 2 features, but, you know, an improvement to the screen snip experience and then support for split virtual keyboard when used in portrait mode. And then this week they introduced a third FEP or something. And that what is the
is there
feature?
anything
It's
new
like
in
the
it?
yeah, this
Nothing, right?
new. I you know, explain new. I don't like. There's a. It's an improvement. What is it? Why can't I find it? It is an I don't know. What the heck is it? It's just an improvement. Oh, it's just. I don't know.
I didn't even see them write about it. Like
No,
I saw
there's a third.
stories
There is a
popping
third.
up
I
about
can't
it.
find it for some reason. I'm sorry.
You
All it is an It's just an improvement to an existing feature.
as an end user, I'm not going to see anything, right? It's just.
Well, I think in the future this might be in some cases a bigger deal. It depends on the thing. So
Get it from the
in other
store,
words, like
or-
the handwriting input panel, right, is not an app in the store. The screen snip, which is sometimes called different things, the screen snip experience in Windows 10 is an integrated feature. You know, the virtual keyboard is an integrated feature of the system. So they're updating these things that are in the operating system, but they're doing it outside of the operating system development. So instead of waiting for the next feature pack, it can be installed. I don't know why they call it this, but via a Windows Feature Experience Pack. It is possible that actual shipping Feature Experience Packs to to stable users could include new features, but so far they've just been improving existing features.
So if I look in the settings for about,
Yep.
Windows specification now has edition, Windows 10 Home, version 20H2, installed on OS build, and then it has experience, and it says Windows Feature Experience Pack 120.2212.551.0. So that's just letting me know that those were, but they're applied as regular updates, system updates, right? I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's a cumulative update, and
Okay. So
yeah,
I know what version I have of that as opposed to just of Windows.
Yeah,
It's more
it's a
granular
little
than
confusing.
saying you got 20H2, you got 20H2 19042.804 plus
with the Windows.
these updates from the Windows experience.
This stuff is not going to matter to most people, to be
Right.
clear.
That's what I wanted to know. It just happens automatically.
Yeah,
I
But
think
feel-
it was. But I think it got people a little worried because when people started seeing it in their abouts and everybody was saying, so what is
Yeah,
that? And
what is
Microsoft's
it?
like, yeah, we have nothing to say. I'm like, wait, you have to say what it is.
remember
It's
that.
in the operating system,
Yeah.
right?
If you're going to use it, it's one of those pages that you don't need to know about it, but if you had trouble with your system, the
Right.
support person might say, okay, can you tell me which experience you've got?
Oh, I see what I did.
What'd you do?
The improved reliability of the handwriting input panel is the new feature.
That's it.
That's
it is?
version. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I screwed that up. The first feature expansion pack actually had 2 improvements, screen snip and the virtual keyboard thing. The second one improved the reliability of screen snipping.
So this is not additional features that you're being provided. This is a new way of updating, and this reflects that those features are at this point. You wouldn't get a new feature this way, or would you?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, so think about something like Project Reunion, right, which is a developer thing, a developer topic. Project Reunion, the point of it is to break out things from specific OS versions, right? So if Microsoft updates like the UI components in Windows 10, you don't have to have that specific version of Windows 10 or newer. It works on hopefully all supported versions of Windows 10. I feel like this could work like that. So if you have any supported version of Windows 10, it's possible you could be on the same, even though we're on a different Windows 10 version, we could be at the same Windows Experience Pack, Feature Experience Pack level version, whatever, however you want to say it. Maybe. It's confusing.
I got another question.
Yep.
I'm getting optional quality updates. What is
optional
that?
Quality updates?
It says there's an optional quality update available.
So this is a week C, week D thing in Microsoft terminology. So optional updates are the one, I think it's the ones you see in preview form. So
it does.
especially for IT managers.
It says cumulative update preview.
Right.
Well, I was going to say,
so
the preview is,
So why am I getting that? I shouldn't be getting that. Oh, no, everybody has access to it, but you don't necessarily, didn't install it.
You don't need it, right?
I got it.
IT managers want to see this because this is giving them
ahead of time
the heads up on what's coming. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. But I mean, this is this is not a business install.
You're actually raising an interesting issue here because I've gotten this complaint from people. They're saying, I look at Windows Update and it just starts downloading a preview update. Why would I be getting a preview update? And the optional quality update that Leo... Right. Well, Seeker, all I did was open. I didn't even click.
All I did was open updates.
All I did was open it up, and it seeked for me.
There is a download and install button on this. It's
that one is. But
sometimes
when I did it,
download.
I got a cumulative update preview for .NET Framework 3.5 and 4.8 for Windows 10.
You don't want a preview.
No, and
that's like a beta version.
Right. I don't understand. So people, people have been asking, well, why are they doing this? And that's a good question. I don't know, but they are. And actually, I just saw it right now.
Yeah. So here's another question, because it used to say optional updates and have a separate page for that. It doesn't look like it does that anymore.
Well, so now they do that again, but usually only for driver updates. So I'm not seeing that right now on this particular system, but sometimes you can go into Windows Update and it will actually say, I don't remember exactly what it says, but there's a link under there that says something to the tune of click here for optional updates. And when you go there, you expand like a carrot and we'll show you whatever.
Because I hadn't seen that. So that's back. Okay.
Yeah. That's a fairly recent re-edition, I guess we'll call it.
So basically, I think what Microsoft does is assuming now that people don't open Windows Update anymore. Right? You're not supposed to.
It's like a Pandora's box, though. All I did was click on Windows Update. I didn't.
After they started doing the thing with the seekers, like I never open it unless there's something wrong with my system.
So there should be a warning when you go to it and saying, this is really for seekers.
I know. It should be like, or it should just not automatically download them onto your system. Right.
Just by virtue of going to that part of the UI.
Yeah.
I had to... I've been doing this for so long, and I beta test a lot of software, and I'm always kind of out on the leading edge or whatever. I go to Windows Update without thinking about it. It's just like a rat in a maze getting a piece of cheese or something. Like on my Android phones, this past year at some point, I took the Google Play Store off of the home screen because I was always going into it and downloading app updates manually like an idiot. If you ever do this on Android, you will have 12 app updates or more every time you look at it. Like there's something really strange about it. There's always app updates. So they're going to install anyway. Like, why? Don't worry about it. Has been my attitude. So, but yeah, on Windows, I still do this. You click on it and it just and I didn't click like check for updates. I just went to Windows Update. Now my system is sitting there waiting for me to reboot, and it's going to bug me for the rest of the day until I do it.
You know who this is hard for? It's not hard. I mean, it's hard for people like you and me because people ask us, like on the radio show every weekend, people will ask questions, and I have to constantly change the answer because Microsoft has now changed the underlying thing. And
you know what? I'm gonna, now that you guys are talking about this, I'm gonna ask for a formal answer from them, and I'll report back next week what they say.
Okay. It's weird. It's the behavior's weird.
But this is, throughout settings, there's always things, especially in this install recovery update sphere. They always seem to be mixing things up, and
they're always changing how it works. I feel like, right?
And I don't know what to answer anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah, so now we have
and
literally
the
an
whole thing with the A, B, and C and D weeks, and what you get in each
preview
week,
updates,
and how they won't even call.
I mean, I listen to you guys every Wednesday. I should be. That should be.
I talk every Wednesday, and I'm still confused by this. I don't know. It's bizarre.
It's pretty funny. It really is. Meanwhile, Mary Jo is, there we go, unfrozen. You were temporarily frozen.
I know. I got frozen for a sec.
I don't know why Skype,
I was like,
Skype now makes a sound to indicate that you have somehow stopped. Like I could see.
Oh, really? It does?
It goes boop, boop.
Yeah, I heard that.
Oh, weird.
Everybody heard it.
I didn't
Mary
hear
Jo,
it, which is weird.
because she was stopped.
Because I was frozen.
So the rule is if you are a normie, do not go to that updates section of the settings. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, and that's a terrible thing to have to tell people because you should be able to click on Windows Update, not click on the check for updates now button or whatever it says, but just look at the interface. But unfortunately, when I just did that, and this is what happens, some updates start downloading. Some do go into that optional block or whatever. But
here's another thing. Here's another thing. They've now changed, I don't know when they changed this, but when I go to settings, now besides having a lovely picture of me, which I put there, it now has a big button for Windows Update. Like, I'm supposed to check that. So if they're saying don't check that, don't put that on the front page of settings. Is that new? They used to at least bury this down here, update and security. Now it's right there.
It's either 20H2 or 2004. It's a newer thing.
So if they don't want people to click it, they shouldn't put a giant button. So
what's worse is, I'm not going to be able to get this off the top of my head, but when you first sign into Windows, like if you get a new PC or whatever, that area at the top of those three options has another thing that says, hey, you got to finish setting up Windows 10.
Oh, yeah.
And when you click on that, then it goes to this system where now you have this stuff that you have to deal with. So you need to know how many Microsoft Bing rewards points you have for some reason. That's just as important as your data being backed up to OneDrive.
Apparently,
and
OneDrive,
your computer being up to date.
Rewards and update. That's what matters. I don't even know how I got these rewards.
It's going to be worth at least a $5 Microsoft Store gift card.
I've earned a badge.
There you go.
Wow. I have a badge.
Yeah. You know, you were saying if normals ever go to Windows Update, I think most normals will never go to Windows Update unless somebody tells them.
If you go to settings now, it is the big fat button right in the middle of the top.
You know what? I just went to settings and mine doesn't look like yours, and I'm on 20H2.
So what does yours say at the top? Does yours say anything?
Mine just looks like the old settings page.
But it doesn't have like a message at the top that says get started or something? Oh, that's...
And you're a Windows 10 Home?
Microsoft account?
Windows 10 Home and 20H2.
And you sign in with a Microsoft account?
That. My Microsoft account?
Are you signed in?
Am I signed in with my
Windows?
Microsoft? Yeah, I'm signed into Windows.
There's no accounting.
Mine just looks like the old Windows settings page.
So
I don't like to hear this because, I don't know if I mentioned it recently, but I write a little book. And I like to be up on this stuff.
I'll send you a picture of what it looks like.
I really feel bad for you, Paul, because you got to put that in the book. Your screenshots change all the time.
I know.
Oh, by the way, I can get 10 points if I do healthy yoga exercises.
All right, well, we have time. Let's go for it.
Shall I do a light speed quiz? Whatever you go, there you are. Still, a little geography can't hurt. Why is this? What? Which of these countries is landlocked? I don't. Why?
Why are you even seeing this?
Why am I seeing this?
Ireland?
Iraq is not landlocked. Armenia has no coastline. Okay, that's great. Thank you, Microsoft.
Paul, I just sent you my set.
Yeah, I see that. That's the old style. It has not looked like that in a long time. I don't know why you're saying that.
Well, Long Dog's saying what I have been saying, Long Dog. You're not disagreeing with me. Longtime Windows users always go to Microsoft updates. But what we're getting now from Microsoft is the message you should not be. That makes you a seeker.
Updating your PC so much, you're going to think it's a career.
No, look at this. Look at this on Twitter. Look, somebody on Twitter, Ryan, who's watching, said, I have 3 devices. One has the page that I have, settings page, and the 2 others have the page that Leo just showed.
Oh, my God. And there's no accounting for it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put that in your book.
Put that in your book and smoke
Stick that in your book and smoke it.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. We have uncovered something.
All right. I'm going to ask them about that too. I'm going to put in a query and just say, hey, so just, we were musing about this on Windows Weekly. I want to see what the official statement is on it.
And if you want to
keep Windows users on their toes,
get a quiz about which of these 4 countries is landlocked, click the rewards button. You might enjoy it. You don't even have the rewards
You ruined
button.
my tip today. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry.
I don't have a rewards button. Nope.
You don't even have a rewards button. Poor Mary
I'm signed
Jo.
in. I am signed in.
I mean, it just goes to the web. It's just probably
it just goes to the
Microsoft.com/rewards or
exactly.
something.
Anyway, yeah. So
Anywho.
that's really weird.
Very odd.
That is weird.
Very strange. No accounting for it.
No.
I've not seen that old style in a while.
That's
I will
on my
say-
system right now. That's on a Surface Laptop 3 running 20H2.
Oh, God, I hate my career. All right.
Because you have to figure out why it appears some places
Why is
and
mine
not
showing
others.
that?
Yeah.
And you know what?
wait a minute.
You know what?
You know
I
what?
wonder.
I wonder if there's a way to turn it off. I bet you turn it off.
That's what I was just going to say. I bet when I set this device up, I just turned off a bunch of things because that's what I kind of do.
Because I feel like there is a switch where you can go back where it asks you that question I was talking about that I can't remember the wording of.
When I get, you know me, like when I get prompts saying, "Do you want to do this a new way?" I always say no. Like, no, I like the way it is.
Oh, that's why. You are
privacy setting.
Let's see. We need a new thing. There's. You got your seekers. What's the opposite of a seeker?
Mary Jo.
Luddites.
Complacent.
On a scale from Mary Jo to seeker, where would you say you land?
Traditionalists. How about traditionalists?
Except that the tradition was you would look at Windows updates, so that can't be right either.
Yeah. Sure.
Passive.
Passive. I don't like being passive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll find out. What?
I just opened settings and it's the thing you just described on this computer. I was just looking at that header that Leo was showing on this exact computer.
Yeah.
Literally.
Now you see what I have, right?
That's crazy.
Wait a minute, you're not seeing it now?
Now I'm seeing what Mary Jo has, which is it just says Windows settings at the top. It literally, I give up. I can't.
I haven't even run I haven't run any insider builds on this machine. It's only running stable mainstream build.
I can't stand it. I can't stand this kind of thing.
Because I just open settings and I get wow.
It was there and now it's not.
It's called
I've never seen that.
An
I have never
intermittent
seen
bug.
that page.
You've
I've
never
never
seen
that
this.
page you're showing. Nope.
Interesting.
It's an intermittent bug.
It might be an A/B testing, guys.
I'm not on the insider preview though.
I know. Maybe
I'm
they're
not
just
either.
You know what? You know what? They do A/B testing and things that are not an insider previews.
You don't understand.
They don't
I
do
just saw it.
Well, you've been downgraded to B. I'm sorry. You no longer
Maybe
in Group
because
A.
you said it, they switched you back.
All right, let's ask the chat room. Go to settings on your Windows 10. You have to be up to date. It has to be 20 what is it, 20H2? Is that what we're doing? I can't even remember.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure, whatever. He doesn't. Paul's lost his mojo. He doesn't care. I am on 20 H2
upsetting.
OS build 1904-2804.
I just saw it in dark mode over here, and I saw it in light mode on this laptop, and then I went back over here, and it was gone.
Okay, open. So you hit Windows key and you type settings, and hit return.
Oh, you get Windows key plus I, by the way. We'll go.
Oh yeah,
right to settings.
Save yourself some time. Windows key plus I. How many of you, show of hands, get this thing with the Windows Update right in the middle?
Yeah. Actually, so if you expand that stuff actually moves over to the right side of the screen, like if you maximize the window.
No. That's maximized.
No, I mean it's
it goes over to the right of my picture. Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if I make it really small, if it disappears.
I don't. Yeah, it's related to the size. I don't.
No, it's not. No.
This is killing me.
No.
This literally changed right as we were talking.
Retcon doesn't get it.
I've never seen
Marsworm does not get it.
No.
You only see that if you're logged into a Microsoft account. Some are saying,
that's
makes sense.
But that's why I asked that earlier. But
I mean, I'm not.
Swamp Rat is getting it.
Yeah.
Does it matter if you're logged into a Microsoft account but not logged into the
Do you have to be signed up for Bing rewards?
No.
That's my reward.
It's part of no.
Wojo, no profile pic, no option for Windows Update. I don't know what you're getting. Oh, local accounts. Yeah, you wouldn't get that. Yeah. And apparently nobody's getting a picture of me, which really is disappointing. Windows Weakling says I have what Leo sees. Micah says he's got it on Elvis. Elvis is doing it. He says, what rewards can I earn? Asking the right questions here, Micah. So Retcon thinks maybe it's because he stripped out the telemetry. He debloated. I don't think so. Mary Jo didn't strip out the telemetry. She likes it.
I love it. I love having them ask.
I want more telemetry. Yes. I've been killing myself to update this book lately, and I got to say, this is not good news for me.
Lawn Dog is logged in via a Microsoft account, but does not see that. So it's AB. Except the weird thing is, Paul got.
I literally
changed.
I was just looking at it. The reason I was looking at it because I was curious on this PC if I had gone through that thing where you click through it because I wanted to show you or tell you what it said, but I saw the three things at the top.
Yeah. It doesn't have to. I mean, I'm on an administrator account. I don't know if you were on a standard user if it would make any difference.
It should make a difference.
Well, there we have it. A mystery for the ages. Not that it matters that much, but it's just kind of odd. And it matters for you, Paul.
No, it matters, Leo. It's like the one book on the bookshelf that's a little bit off.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling.
And then you come back the next day and it's off in a different way, and now you're really messed up.
We have, I know, a higher proportion of OCD listeners and viewers than any podcast in the world. If I take that clock away, one over my shoulder,
people notice and freak out.
Uproar.
Leo, I got to say, the greatest thing you have ever done for me, ever, is as you've moved from place to place, you keep this room exactly the same.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a fool.
Because I cannot stand change. So your life has been upheaved several times, has not impacted
Third studio looks just like this. Is the same damn desk.
Yep.
I've added a few things like this Altair 8800. You don't mind a few like slight changes, but you want the basic stuff to be the same. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to try to dig into this.
Keith 512.
Please solve this for me because
he's hugging the clock.
Right.
All right, let's move on. But that's a weird one.
I'm going to be in a funk for the rest of the day.
I'm so sorry I brought it up. I really apologize.
No, it's very weird.
I'm freaked.
He's freaked, man. I'm freaked.
Is anyone else seeing this?
What? Oh my God.
All right.
Alex Kipman So we've been debating, and you could help me now because Ignite's next week.
Right.
It is.
I noted that Satya Nadella is doing the keynote. You know, we like to stream with Alex Kipman,
which is bizarre.
You know, we like to stream events like that, but on the other hand, if there are no new product announcements, I don't think we really want to just like a vision keynote, you know.
Yep. So we're not going to learn until tomorrow what's happening exactly at Ignite.
Right. We don't know.
So
we're not under NDA.
Is it telling that? Are you going to do the thing afterwards like you did last year?
We're doing it on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be after the show? Are we going to have to move the show?
No, before the show.
Before the show.
No.
It is interesting that Microsoft is hiding the 3D folder, but Alex Kipman is going to be part of Ignite. What is going on?
That's the
Paul, your internet connection just died on us.
Oh, no, he's frozen. I was frozen. No, he's frozen.
It's so strange. I wonder if it's us. Could it be us? We are the one thing in common.
Wait, he's back. He's back.
Okay. You there?
I was going to say my internet connection. I never stopped hearing you.
Yeah, but your connection.
Actually, you guys were still
moving.
Only my picture was frozen on the screen there.
So weird.
Yeah.
So weird. We're using Skype. That's probably why. Also, I noticed that Mary Jo is starting to encroach. It looks like a little bit.
I'm moving over to Paul.
Like she has a larger.
Thank you.
That's an optical illusion, I think, because you're right down the middle. It's just an optical illusion.
Maybe.
Anyway.
I can move over a few more inches, Mary Jo, if you need more room.
It's like he's pushed.
I need
into
room.
The wall.
You know, my apartment's so big that I need more room.
Who is Alex Kipman? Why is that a big deal that he's going to be on the keynote?
So he is the head of mixed reality at Microsoft. He is a technical fellow, and he's the guy who basically invented HoloLens, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the title of this talk, of one of the talks at Ignite, is Introducing the Future of Mixed Reality, which makes me think they're going to have something to say.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be vision.
So maybe we should do this.
Right? Basically, 2 years ago at Mobile World Congress in February, they introduced HoloLens 2.
Oh,
they did.
Right?
Okay.
Seriously, what's going on?
It's the second anniversary.
What is this?
You don't need that much room.
What do you think? I wasn't going to notice?
I don't.
Guys, I need more room.
It's in my contract that I get half the real estate.
You're not watching the video. Somehow, Mary Jo is slowly spreading over. Oh my God!
Taking over the entire screen.
This is like in Star Wars when they were in the compactor. Watch out for anything in the any tentacles below.
Exactly.
I'll be in the apartment next door, Mary Jo.
It looks like he's hiding in your closet now.
It does. It does look like that. He's in there. Uh-oh.
Oh, he's come on, fix it.
Mask.
Put him back.
A mask on.
Put him. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. We do eyeball it. We don't have a ruler or anything. So
freezing too.
Yeah, I don't know. We're having some technical difficulties. Yeah, let's reconnect with Paul. Oh, you're not on Skype right now? Oh, he's using.
Yeah. Should I just call back?
OBS
no,
Ninja.
Not on Skype.
Yeah, let's try Skype.
Just hang up
I've been
and call
blaming
back.
OBS Skype, but it's actually OBS Ninja. Mary Jo's on Skype. It's very mysterious.
Yeah.
So would you want me to
just disconnect and we'll call you? And I'm going to turn off the sound because we don't want to hear that doom doom doom. So Alex Kipman.
Yeah.
So this does sound kind of like maybe we should cover it.
I think you should. I normally would say no on Ignite because it's going to be like, compliance and governance and this and that. But the fact they have Alex Kipman on day one, I'm like, they must have something to show and say, right?
Yeah. This could end up being a big announcement about HoloLens. Do you think?
Or something on the software side, because today Alex Kipman tweeted mixed reality hashtag and Azure as a hashtag. So I'm like, so maybe it's something around like Azure Spatial Anchors, that service they announced 2 years ago, where you can put holograms somewhere and they will like persist. kind of like Pokemon, right?
According
so maybe
to,
they have something new to say.
According to Mary Jo Foley on ZDNet, Microsoft has hidden or removed a mixed reality session listing that came out last week that Walking Cat had it entitled "A Developer's Introduction to Microsoft Mesh." What's that?
Yeah. So we don't know what it is. It just says if you're a developer, you're probably going to want to tune into this session about the new Mesh developer platform for mixed reality applications.
You think that's what Alex will be talking about?
It could be. You know what's funny to me about this? Nothing has leaked except that one slide about this. So we really do not know what they're going to announce next week.
And maybe that was on purpose just to tease us.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be good if they talked about the developer story around HoloLens and mixed reality apps because, you know, I don't think they're ready to announce the next HoloLens yet. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like they haven't really filled out their software and services strategy on HoloLens. And if you're thinking about remote work, you know, and Microsoft's very much about remote work right now, what would be the HoloLens connection? I mean, is it about making you a hologram so you can participate in, you know, like meetings and calls? And what would that entail on the software and services side to have that happen? So there's like a lot of missing. I feel like there's missing chunks in the mixed reality strategy, and maybe they're going to fill that in at Ignite.
Okay.
And for those of you who are saying, didn't they just have Ignite?
Yes, they did.
This is part 2.
Well, you know, like Windows feature updates are now twice a year. So is Ignite.
By the way, I see that they are doing the keynote in AltSpace VR.
They are. Yep.
So that's interesting.
I know. I think there's going to be some news, some like interesting, more than just your typical IT pro kind of news that everyday people might care about. So, yeah.
Very interesting.
I know. If I were going to tune into one thing for you guys, I would say tune into the Alex Kipman keynote.
Oh, now it's the Alex Kipman keynote. Whoa.
Well, okay. So Satya will get up there and say tech intensity, blah, 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 draw some formulas, recite a poem, and then Alex will come out and do some demos.
It's a rather glib assessment of Satya.
I'm right. Admit it. I'm telling you the truth.
Honestly, okay. A huge respect to Satya Nadella. Clearly the man of the hour for Microsoft.
Right.
But sometimes he's a little airy-fairy in his keynotes. They're very high level.
Yeah, they are.
And they don't have a lot of concrete stuff that I can wrap my head around.
Agreed.
So that's honestly was kind of our thinking at the editorial meeting, which was yesterday. Yeah, I don't know. If it's just Satya talking, that's great. And I'll let, anybody who wants to watch it should watch it. But we won't have any commentary about it. We'll be sitting there with big question marks over our head. But Alex Kipman, that might be different. That might be something. Yeah. I
know. Yeah. So day one keynote, 11:30 Pacific, right?
No, Eastern.
Eastern.
Yeah.
11:30 Eastern, March 2nd. That's Tuesday. Yep.
Okay.
And then so Tuesday's the one we should do. I thought it was Wednesday we should do. There's nothing on Wednesday.
Tuesday's day 1, Wednesday's day 2. So Wednesday, Paul and I are going to talk after the keynote that day about our impressions about Ignite.
Yeah.
We're going to be on live.
And
I assume your assessment of the keynote will be slightly different from what you just delivered.
No, it'll probably be the same.
No, we love look, total respect. In no way do I want to disrespect Satya Nadella.
I agree. But when you go to a keynote, even if it's an IT pro conference, you want some sizzle, right? You want there to be demos with real tangible
that's
cool
the stuff we like to stream.
Right. I feel like that's what they need to have, even in an IT pro show. They need to have stuff that is, even if it's way, way out in the future, they need that. They need it for people to be excited.
Yeah.
You can't have the keynote be just about compliance and governance. I know a lot of people find that very exciting, but
Who are those people?
I know them. They're my people. But
It's like a CPA convention, the governance and compliance convention.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it could be cool. And if you look at the session list, which is live now on Ignite, if you go to myignite.microsoft.com, there's like 300 plus sessions listed, and there are quite a few that mention mixed reality. So I think it's going to be a big theme.
The only thing I've done on the Ignite site so far is search for Windows, because Windows is not even a top level category you can look at.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there are several.
That's telling.
It's not.
No, but you saw Panos is doing something, right?
Panos is doing kind of a fireside chat kind of a thing.
Yep.
It looks like. So we'll see. There's some room in there for some news, but it's not.
No.
It's not a.
But there is a lot of Dynamics news, people. So if you care about ERP and CRM, and who doesn't, you definitely are going to want to tune in on both days, probably.
Okay.
You know what? I feel like Ignite's not a Windows show. I mean, there's usually some Windows content. There's more and more developer content at Ignites than there used to be. So maybe you'll find some exciting developer sessions.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I didn't find a lot in the Windows space, I can tell you that.
No.
Isn't that interesting? Where are they focused? Apps?
No.
So it's
a lot of work from home
cloud
stuff.
is the biggest thing. Right?
Yeah. Microsoft 365.
Cloud, of course. Yeah.
Azure, Microsoft 365, AI, Dynamics this year. A lot of Dynamics, Power Platform, a lot of Power Platform stuff this year.
Yep.
And who's Mitra Azizarad? Is she? She's the third person on the keynote, or he is?
So she does keynotes typically about futures and Microsoft research. She does a lot around that.
Okay.
Her title is Corporate Vice President of Microsoft AI and Innovation Marketing. So, she's the one who'll talk about concepts and futures and stuff like that. But the thing you're going to want is Alex Kipman.
Yeah. Okay.
You're really, really promoting the Alex Kipman stuff here. I'm kind of amazed by this.
No, you know why? Because I feel like it's been a long time since we heard anything big.
It has.
About
I think it's literally been 2 years
right?
on Alex Kipman, and then longer for Windows Mixed Reality, right? As far as the major news.
Yeah. And you got to wonder, like, okay, we know you guys have been working on things. Like, you haven't just been sitting there doing like HoloLens, the industry edition. There's more going on than just that, right?
So, someone asked me about this recently, and my take on it was that it was impressive that Microsoft did the architectural work to put Windows Mixed Reality in Windows, right? And instead of having it just be a separate thing. I thought that was surprising and impressive, whatever. Yeah. And now I feel like it's kind of up to the ecosystem to make things happen. So that means apps and games that run on this platform, but it also means new hardware with better capabilities. And we've seen some of that. Samsung and I think more recently HP have both released higher resolution headsets, right? I think they've effectively maybe even doubled it since the beginning. But that's been kind of it. And I know. I don't.
All right.
It will be interesting to hear what they have to say. I mean,
it will.
All right.
My guess is that mesh developer platform is going to be big, and then maybe some stuff around holograms and how holograms fit into their productivity vision. That would be my guess about where they're going to go with it.
So I guess I'll be coming in early next Wednesday.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, don't come in early on Wednesday. That would be a bad day.
So from the chat room, interesting. We found an article on WinArrow, the edge of tweaking, how force enable Windows 10 settings top header. Apparently that's an insider feature. I'm not an insider, though.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I'm not either.
Nope.
But there is, you can well,
maybe this is from when this was, maybe this is back from when it wasn't an insider feature.
Oh.
Yeah, because actually you see it as the Europhone thing. That's not in there anymore.
Old. Okay. So there you go. So, and I didn't do this. I don't know anything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
Like so many people in this world, I've decided to ignore what reality is telling me and go with what I read somewhere. Just don't worry about it.
That makes sense. That's a good strategy.
All right. Moving right along.
Just a strategy.
Let's talk Power Platform. And I'm guessing this is a Mary Jo Foley story.
It is. And this is an Ignite story also. So Microsoft's going to make a bunch of Power Platform announcements at Ignite based on the session list. But one of them, again, leaked by the Walking Cat, is something called Power FX, like function, So I dug around a little bit. Power FX seems to be the name of a low-code language that they're going to announce, I believe, at Ignite, that's going to go across the whole Power Platform set. So Power Platform is Power Apps, the thing that used to be called Flow that's now called Power Automate, and Power BI, the business intelligence / analytics piece. So I think what they're going to do is introduce this thing called Power FX, basically builds on the idea of functions in Excel. And if you really think about who are the people who use Power Platform, a lot of them are Excel jockeys, right? They're business people who really know Excel and really understand Excel. And Microsoft's trying to bring them along to say, you can be a developer, a low-code, no-code developer using Power Platform tools. So they have not said that I am correct in saying Power FX will be announced next week, but I hear, yes, that is happening. And Paul didn't like the name of Power FX for some reason.
Yeah, I'm like, how could they not call this thing P#? Right? But of course, they already have a P#.
There is a P# already. I know. That would be a good name, actually, when they were doing all the sharps, right? I also think I have heard rumors that there'll also be something announced at Ignite around the thing that's called Power Automate Desktop, which is basically the software piece of Flow. If you're building kind of like an if this and that type of a thing using the Power Platform set of tools. I think they're going to announce something around Power Platform Desktop. I think there's going to be something around how it either will be licensed in a new way or how it will work with Windows 10 in a new way. I don't know enough to actually go out on a limb and make a firmer prediction than that, but I think there's something coming on that front too. So yeah, if you're going to cover Ignite Keynote, Leo, and you're going to do Alex Kipman or you're going to do Power Platform, I don't know. I think you guys will go Alex Kipman.
I think you're right.
But can I introduce a theory?
Yes.
That has nothing to do with this topic because I've been obsessing about it. Earlier in the show, we were talking about Windows Update. So I opened settings. I saw that thing on the top. I went to Windows Update, and then I complained because it downloaded updates without asking me. And now my thing is sitting here telling me I got to install updates.
Oh, no.
That's when it changed. I'm thinking if I reboot, that thing will come back and it'll have that header again. I can't explain why some people aren't seeing that header on their computers, like Mary Jo and some people on Twitter. Yep. But I think that's why mine changed.
Interesting.
I think the act of
seeking
that Windows Update thing did something. Yeah. That's my guess. Huh. And if I reboot and it's gone again, then I give up.
So we could try this. Let me download and install the optional quality.
Well, I didn't install the optional one. So remember, in my case, I had something above that.
You had another thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, but you could try it.
Let's just see what happens. It's not really moving fast.
What I had downloaded was the cumulative update preview for .NET Framework 3.5 and 4.8.
But it was a preview.
It was a preview.
Yeah. This is the cumulative update preview for Windows 10 version 20H2 for x64-based systems.
Yeah, I see that. Sorry.
You see that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that as well. But now that one, you have to manually say, okay, I'm going to download and install it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it went from 0 to 100%.
My header will come back.
Yeah. So you've lost it permanently.
Well, no, I don't know permanently. I mean, I can't reboot because we're doing the show, obviously. So I suspect it's going to come back. This thing is so poorly written that clicking or selecting a particular page in settings made it disappear. That's my theory.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that theory because otherwise I'm not going to be able to sleep at night.
Mine is now, I clicked it, it didn't go away. I downloaded it, didn't go away. It's now installing, it's at 100%. At some point, I think it will say, it's not going to make me reboot, or maybe it will, I don't know.
Well, it's going to ask you to reboot, but you don't have to.
Okay. And let me go back and see if...
You can wait.
I still have the header. It's not that important, but it's...
it's just curious. It's curious why we're all seeing different things.
Curiouser and curiouser.
I'm really bothered by this.
All right. Paul, hold on, okay? We can get the answer,
guys. I'm just gonna reboot. You guys go on without me.
He's got to know. Go ahead, reboot. I'll do an ad. You reboot. I will do an ad. No, this is good. Nobody's gonna even know what you're rebooting. Shh. Okay. Don't tell anybody. While Paul does absolutely nothing, I'm going to tell you about Conga. What is Conga? Well, I'm glad you asked. Are you ready to evolve your operations, streamline your workflows, create and deliver digital documents, quotes, and contracts more effectively? You can with Conga. Conga helps businesses digitally transform their commercial operations. Other companies can be stepping away from opportunities like this. The fools. Conga believes this is the perfect time to keep moving forward. The manual processes, God, just even the name, manual processes. The manual processes that were once conducted in person in an office have obviously come to an abrupt halt because no one's there, right? The pandemic hit, businesses found themselves limiting contact, going home to work. Now, I know we're going to go back to the office eventually. Maybe in some businesses, maybe not, This is an opportunity to catapult digital transformation from something you kind of want to do to basically a requirement, right? We need to go digital. Well, then you need Conga. Conga offers the most robust solution for digital document process and commercial excellence transformation. Their end-to-end digital document transformation suite can help you automate and optimize your daily documents and contracts to save time, to close business faster, to empower your teams to work with more purpose. Take a look at Conga Composer, which will help you power up customer engagement with Composer digital document generation from Salesforce, quick and error-free every time. Because it's automated, right? You're not typing it in. You're not writing it down. You can create beautiful templated documents directly from Salesforce. Automate your templated documents. They'll always be built with the right data. Documents will be accurate. They'll be pulling the data from your CRM or any system of record, so there are no errors. And then you can deliver the documents in any format you need, by almost any method you want, storing them where you want. It's very flexible. Take a look at advanced features for Composer Enterprise. You can get real-time document notifications that tell you, did your recipient not only open it, but what's their engagement? And it makes follow-up simple. With Conga Batch, you can consolidate, schedule, deliver the documents you create with Composer. You choose how you want to launch and send, whether automatically, on demand, and even do this for multiple documents at once. In fact, if you want that automated feature, you'll love the add-on for Composer called Conga Trigger. That'll let you create and distribute digital documents automatically from Composer and Salesforce. You don't have to click a button or anything. It just says, "Oh, new client, let's send them the docs." T-Mobile for Business uses Conga. They save time and money. Their sales reps did not have the necessary capability in their sales proposals. They were doing it all manually. Customers couldn't see the proposals in writing, unless, of course, the sales rep created additional documents. That took time and, of course, introduces errors almost always, right? With Conga Composer, T-Mobile sales promotions have never been clearer, easier, more beautiful. What once took a day or two to file a case or request a ticket, instantaneous now. Sales teams now avoid multiple systems. T-Mobile says they've seen a 25% increase in user adoption, and they are getting paid faster. Sounds like something you want? Conga. Conga is committed to improving how people do business at a much larger scale with additional resources. They know we're all in this together, so experience Conga's new brand. Have some fun. Conga, Conga.com/twit. There's actually a fun little trivia quiz there. You can share it on social. Conga will take the results and then donate to a charity supporting COVID relief efforts. So you're doing a good thing as well as helping your business. Conga.com/twit. All right, Paul. Open settings.
It didn't work.
Oh.
Can't have nice things.
That was classic Paul. Classic Paul.
So that wasn't the answer. Okay.
It didn't work.
I get nothing.
But you do look more saturated, the chat room says.
Oh, good.
So that's good.
Okay.
You can improve your saturation.
Good.
Maybe that was what it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we tried. We did our best. What can I say? Let's did you talk about P#, by the way?
We did.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get to this.
The lack of P#.
Oh, there is no P#. Don't get excited. It's Power FX, not P#. Although that would be a good name.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Paul's line. I could tell. Let's talk about Surface.
Yeah, so Microsoft recently released a Surface Pro 7 Plus, same as Surface Pro from a form factor perspective, but with slightly upgraded internals for commercial customers. It is is this true? I'm not sure if it's the third or not, but it is one of kind of a new generation of Surface PCs that has a removable SSD drive, which is kind of cool. So, obviously user serviceable and so forth. I believe it's the same. It's a weird little. It looks like a little like Game Boy cartridge or something. It's kind of a unique, probably proprietary part. I don't believe it's a standard part, but I could be wrong about that. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, this past week, Microsoft announced that they're going to offer refurbished replacement SSDs for commercial customers to buy. The idea there being that if something happens to the device, or I guess to the SSD in this case, they can quickly swap it out and get back up and running. All four of the sizes that they offer in the machine will be available for sale: 128 gigs, 256, 512, and a terabyte. They're only for commercial customers. You literally have to go through like a regional reseller or Surface specialist to get it. And Microsoft is saying that they will not work in Surface Pro X or Surface Laptop Go, which are two of the other machines that have these removable SSDs. I suspect they will work if you could get your hands on one. As to who would want a refurbished SSD?
Good question.
It's like lightly used.
It's only a little burnout.
I mean, maybe it's like an organ donation, like the rest of it was destroyed, and that one thing was fine. I don't know. The good news is you can look at an SSD with the proper tools and tell if how much use it's had and whether it's worn out. So right.
You can see. I wonder if this is in kind of a little backhanded slap at Apple, which has started soldering the SSD.
Yeah,
they're not soldering; they're building them into the chip.
The chip. Yeah.
So there is no user serviceable parts in there.
That's obviously, and this is we had that conversation about the M1 recently, and this is one of those cons. Like, there's pros and cons to Apple's approach to everything, and there are advantages to putting memory and storage right on the chip, obviously, but there are downsides. Sorry. In the rest of the industry, we're starting to see this move toward serviceability again, which is nice because we went to these like unopenable PCs, super thin and light. You couldn't get at the battery, which is still very common, of course. But we're starting to see some serviceability in certain machines, not all machines, and not just Microsoft. I mean, across the industry. So, I get the push toward thin, super thin, super light, but serviceability is huge, right? Not just for the environment, but just because you've invested in this product, you might want to hold on to it. If you can't get into it and fix stuff or replace them, I mean, it just makes the whole thing more or less less valuable or whatever. So it's a good move on their part. Yeah.
And
that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one cause to pause for a lot of people is when you buy a new Mac, is that's all the RAM you're ever going to have. Although that's very common now. I mean, Lenovo's soldering in the RAM. It's not unusual to see that. So, and it depends on the computer because some, like I said, like Lenovo in some cases probably does have machines where you can replace the RAM or the SSD or whatever. The wireless card. There's all kinds of things. So. Absolutely.
Speaking of thin and light, I have to ask you a question. Did you get one of those ThinkPad X1 Nanos?
Ooh.
I'm not actually. I might have.
I might have. I haven't opened that box. Those 12 boxes from Lenovo. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
I got one.
What?
I got one to review.
Wow, nice. Okay.
I did. Well, thanks to Rich Woods at NeoWin, because he always hears me on Windows Weekly talking about my quest for the perfect thin and light laptop, and he's like, "I think I found your laptop," and so he helped me get Lenovo to send me one. So I'm going to check it out.
What I'm really curious about is battery life.
He said it's unbelievable. So let's see. You know me, I'm hard on batteries. No pad takes a lot of battery.
I would buy this. It's 13-inch, but it's about 2 pounds. It has,
which is, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that alone is crazy. A typical 13-inch laptop is about 3 pounds.
Yeah.
I know.
It's got Thunderbolt 4.
It was so light when I took it out of the box. I didn't think it was in the box, and then I opened it. I'm like, is it in here?
Oh, I'll be listening with interest because, by the way, that one is guaranteed to have the memory soldered in.
Okay, right, of course.
That's how you get it that thin, right?
Doesn't it have the little Lenovo ThinkPad button, which I always use?
It does. It has the nipple, right?
I like it.
You like that?
I like it.
Yep.
I do.
Lenovo makes the best keyboards. I don't know.
Yes,
it has a name. But everybody knows it is the nipple. I wonder if something this thin will have the classically
always
great
says
keyboard.
the best keyboards. He always says.
Yeah, but this is super thin, so it may not. I don't know.
I was honestly in recent years, I feel like Microsoft and HP and Dell too, although Dells are different. I've pulled a little bit ahead. I mean, of Lenovo, but yeah, it's a good keyboard experience for sure.
I like the XPS 13 keyboard. It's really nice, and it's very similar to I have in front of me.
The XPS 13 and 15 are just
really nice. This is a Lenovo T470S, which is about 3 years old. Has also a very nice keyboard, but I wouldn't say better than the Dell.
Lenovo just won't go to those island-style keys that you see everywhere else. They have kind of a scallop design to it. They're
and there's a lot of travel, and they
a little bit more. Yeah,
they feel good.
Exactly.
So I'll be very curious.
I'm excited to try it.
Yeah, because I would consider buying this if it had
it's
good
only like
battery life.
$600-something too.
Well,
it's not an expensive machine.
You can
make it expensive. I can figure it.
Yeah, I think once you add what you want to it, it's going to be close to $1,800.
I know. But still, it looks so far. Just taking it out of the box, I'm like, you know what? It's so thin. It's so light.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like,
Oh, I want to hear more.
Yep. So I will look into it and start playing around with it.
Related to that, I mean, since you mentioned it, I don't think I had this in the notes, but Lenovo yesterday, I think, announced a bunch of what they call mainstream ThinkPads, and the two cool ones there to me are these are like the not the X1s, like we have like the Carbon X1, but the normal X series, X13 and X13 Yoga have like super small bezels now and 16:10 screens, which is kind of another new push we're starting to see with PCs. But they were specifically saying like they're starting to move some of the style things that they did with the Nano over to some of their more mainstream products. And I think starting the X13 line is the other first ones.
Nice.
Yeah, they make nice computers.
I do. I like Lenovo. Let's see. Microsoft we talked about this yesterday on Security Now. They call the SolarWinds hack SolarGate, but they put out what I think they considered the final definitive update on SolarGate yesterday, right?
Yeah, and it's it's actually still kind of hard for me to understand exactly what happened. They say that no product or service code repositories were fully compromised. Where code repositories were accessed, the actor is how they describe this, the hacker, only viewed a small handful of files in each case. They did say that Azure, Intune, and Exchange were all accessed, but only a very small subset of the full repository in each case. And I think this came up, I don't know, back in probably January or December, whenever it was. But, Microsoft operates under what they call a zero trust model for its internal systems, which I find to be interesting. And they're actually now providing guidance to their own customers so that enterprises can set themselves up in exactly this model and protect themselves from this kind of attack, which I thought was kind of interesting. But this is why we don't have Windows updates, folks, because people are getting hacked.
These supply chain hacks are terrifying, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. The final. I felt
we'll
like
see. I bet there'll be more updates still, even though they said this is the last update.
When Steve talked about it yesterday, I felt like there were some weasel words in. Mostly, didn't get compromised.
I will say, I mean, the Microsoft Security Response Center is, I give them credit. They're pretty transparent and they are pretty quick, and they they always do come back and say, this is what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, they've been, of all the companies involved, they've been the most forthcoming talking about what happened and so forth. And I think that's good. They are getting involved in the Australia versus Google versus Facebook story. They're actually weighing in on the side of the Australian Parliament.
They want Europe to adopt this exact thing, like in the EU, which is amazing.
First of all, why do they care? This is a battle between news publishers and Google and Facebook. Why do they care?
I honestly
it's anti-competitive. It's like, yeah, screw them. Go get them, Europe. That's kind of seems low.
It does.
Yeah. So my initial callous reaction to this is Microsoft doesn't make most of its money from advertising. So it can appear to be a good corporate citizen here by taking this stance because it's not going to hurt them that much.
Even Apple's not doing that. They don't do any advertising, but they're not piling on. This feels like piling on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on the wrong side, I might
he likes
add.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't mind if they piled on in defense of Facebook and Google, but what they're doing is they're piling on in defense of Rupert Murdoch.
So I think what's going to happen here is we're going to see stuff like this happen everywhere in the world, right? Or around the world. Maybe not everywhere in the world, but whether it happens in the United States or not, I guess we'll see. But the EU is already kind of moving in this direction. Individual countries are
Canada as well.
Deals. Canada, So this is a tough one. I mean, I don't know. It's hard not to be cynical about it, I guess.
I don't get it.
It just seems like Apple has gone after Facebook explicitly, but I think it's fair to say Apple is not happy with their business model, Facebook and Google, let's say. Microsoft is overtly kind of doing the same thing, except Microsoft would love to have this advertising business if they could. So I don't know. It's like, look at us. We're not a gatekeeper. We can,
anything to try to help Bing. Anything to try to help Bing. Advertising and Bing search.
The friend of my enemy is my friend, I guess.
I guess.
But I mean, really, this is Rupert Murdoch holding the tech industry up for ransom, saying it's your fault that newspapers are dying and you got to give us some money. It's a link tax. It's a tech tax, and I just feel like Microsoft should be on the side of tech on this one.
Well, and they're trying to paint themselves as being, we're helping journalists. Like this is all about us wanting to help journalists.
They're helping Rupert Murdoch. They're not. This is not what that's about.
Well, Microsoft, if you want to help journalists, I have a few ideas. So
I got a few journalists who wouldn't mind some help. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just don't weigh in. But if you're going to weigh in on the wrong side, I don't.
Microsoft's big on this corporate citizen stuff, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, they're very. They're taking that serious.
Spoken on social topics.
Yeah, I think that might really be more of what's going on here. To be charitable,
it's the Brad Smith.
No, Brad Smith. It is. It's Brad Smith wanting to champion any cause these days.
Yeah. Look, we're not like those guys. We're fun. We're cuddly. We're like a giant teddy bear.
Yeah.
You can get Office LTSC if you want it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll do it. We're fun.
We're fun.
Office is fun.
Also,
yes,
there's new clouds on the horizon.
Oh no.
Yeah. So Microsoft's introducing these things they call industry clouds or vertical clouds. And what these are basically a collection of things like data models and connectors and APIs and interfaces. And they build on top of Azure and Dynamics 365 and Power Platform so that a company that is in, say, the healthcare market or in manufacturing or financial services who wants to kind of get a package of things that will that'll help them just kind of build one level above in the cloud. This is who this is for. They're not cheap. Microsoft already announced the healthcare one of these industry clouds, and it's something like $90 or $95 per user per month. So it's not for everyone, but they're hoping that their partner ecosystem is going to take it and extend it and kind of use it as a blueprint so that they can get more business in these specific verticals that they're targeting. So right now they've got healthcare, retail, as of today, financial services, manufacturing, and nonprofits. And you can bet they'll be targeting all the main vertical markets that Microsoft already has a footprint in. I think it's interesting. It's a way of kind of up-leveling how developers and customers can build for the cloud, but again, not cheap. It's called industry clouds, if you hear that terminology.
Yeah, I'm glad you talked about that because I won't understand one thing about it. And now I understand a little better, thanks to Mary Jo Foley. And now, how about a little Paul Thurrott music? It's Xbox.
Do we have
time.
music?
Oh, I don't.
The theme song.
I wish we had. It's time for Paul and Xbox news. That's it. Da-da-da-da.
I just trimmed this down because some of the other stuff that was in here earlier is not that exciting. But every month, as you know, there's the Games with Gold promotion. People with Xbox Live Gold can get access to free games for the life of their subscription. It seems like every month they've been announcing it earlier and earlier. They announced it the other day for March. So March 1st is what, probably next Monday or something, or next
something like that. Yeah.
Monday. Yep.
Yeah.
So we already know what the games are going to be for next month. Nothing hugely exciting. 2 Xbox One games and 2 Xbox 360 games. I don't have anything to say about any of them. I don't really care personally.
You don't care that Vicious Attack Llama Apocalypse is now $14.99? Well, it will be
it's going to
second
be free
half
soon.
of the month. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's going to be free soon. But yeah, okay, that's
reasonable.
a good point.
It is a good name for a game.
That's true.
The Llama Apocalypse. Apparently, it's the Illuminati.
It could keep your mind off the real apocalypse we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
The bigger news, though, is Sony, and of course, they make this announcement to British GQ magazine for some reason.
Yeah,
but
that's who I always give my links to. Sure.
They are doing 2 things, which are very interesting. First, they're going to bring VR to PlayStation 5, not this year, probably next year. It's going to be sleeker, better, faster, et cetera, than the existing PSVR.
See, that I'd be interested in.
What I would
VR
be
is
interested
pretty good.
Yeah, is Windows Mixed Reality or whatever they want to call it for Xbox, right? Especially now that Flight Simulator exists and can be played with that system. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something along those lines. I've never actually understood why Windows Mixed Reality didn't make its way to Xbox. Seems like something they could do pretty easily.
Well, maybe they don't see a market. Maybe their market, analysis says.
Well, how many PSVRs were sold? Millions, right? I mean, some single-digit number of millions of copies. I mean,
what if that's Alice Kipman's announcement, guys?
It seems like a weird thing for Ignite, but I suppose it's possible as a mention in there, though, right? I mean, well, we'll see.
I mean, today in his tweet, he hashtagged virtual reality in Azure, not mixed reality. Virtual reality in Azure.
See, that reminds me of that Michael Crichton book where you walk through the VR representation of a library, and it's supposed to be the storage of the computer. Disclosure.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope it's not that.
Yeah.
But the other big Sony news, which I think reflects on Xbox, is last year Sony released a single game for the PC, Horizon Zero Dawn. This year, they're going to release many games on the PC, starting with Days Gone, which I think was a PS4 game. I don't think it's a new PS5 game, but they're going to release a lot of games on PC. And I have to think this is almost like a validation of the Microsoft strategy in video games, because Sony has kind of come to power and influence through platform exclusives, right? They've always been about this game only runs on not just PlayStation, but a specific version of PlayStation, right? Them expanding out like this, I think, is kind of interesting. And I wonder if it's not an implicit agreement that what Microsoft is doing in the video game space is like the correct approach, meaning heterogeneous support for platforms, right? And crossplay and all that good stuff. So remember, this is the company that they blocked crossplay for years. Wouldn't let PlayStation users on playing Minecraft play with people on other platforms. Like this was their strategy. So this is a big turnaround for them. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. Zaruski.
Okay, that's it for Xbox. You know what's next?
Mm-hmm.
the highlight of the entire enterprise. The latest price on GameStop stock.
Oh,
It's actually going up.
sure it is.
Yeah,
That's a valuable commodity right there.
You know they're going somewhere. Man, video games.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
It's like no, I agree with you there. They are going somewhere.
It's like going up as I'm watching it. It's going up. It's like, oh, it just went down. But still, it doubled today. Somebody ought to check Reddit.
Oh boy!
I should trade in that Bitcoin for GameStop stock. Also, just to update the Federal Reserve Bank status board, another game we like to play here. Looks like it's all back except for account services. So
I heard someone say the problem was due to, quote, operator error.
yeah, it's fixed this fast. It definitely is operator error.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Why
is
is it so
operator error.
bright?
Back of the book coming up next. We'll start off our back of the book programming with Paul Thurrott's tip of the week. Buy GameStop. No.
So am I allowed to talk? I didn't want to.
Yes, you are now allowed to talk.
All right. I actually got this via Mary Jo. Thank you for that. Mike Bazarewski on Twitter says that Kellogg's has an offer right now where if you buy a participating product and then send them a photo of the receipt.
Oh, you don't even have to mail the receipt anymore.
They will give you a 14 or 30 day Xbox Game Pass Ultimate code. That's crazy.
How much is that worth?
Well, $14.99 is for 30 days.
So just buy some Cheez-Its. And you know what?
Literally, it's like, no, but but seriously, folks, Pop-Tarts, Pringles, and Cheez-Its, right? This is like the holy trinity of stuff you should never be sticking in your body. And
I was just going to say, it's a holy trinity of what everyone's eating.
yeah, it's like, no, but they always do this. It's like, you should go to Taco Bell. We'll give you some Xbox stuff. It's like, guys, could you do buy some fruit at Whole Foods or something? Like, what is up with this food? Like,
there's more money in Cheez-Its there is in an apple.
Frosted brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts, frosted blueberry, strawberry, frosted s'mores. There's a healthy choice.
Do they say what it is? How do you just? It says 14 or 30 day code, but I don't. Now I've got to read.
I think it's probably based on the value of the thing that you bought. I guess my big question here is whether or not this thing stacks, and it looks like it's a limit of 2 14-day codes or 1 30-day code. So you can't get like a year of Xbox Live or Xbox game.
Get 14 days with the purchase of one participating product, 30 days with the qualifying purchase of one participating players pack, which is 28 counts. So it sounds like you have to buy 28 boxes of Cheez-Its.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Just don't do this, folks. My tip is
you tip is not Xbox. To do this.
You can play Xbox and you can be healthy at the same time. You don't have to eat this crap. This is terrible.
But if you are buying this crap, you might as well take advantage of it.
If you are already buying this stuff,
we have 2 out of the 3 products in our home. But we also have a teenager in our home.
Yeah,
and I think he's the only one eating this stuff.
One time in the past year, my wife bought Pop-Tarts. They disappeared in about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was a victimless crime. Every one of us ate some of them. For us, it was like this return to our childhood.
I hope to
which
God,
really was really sweet. I forget how sweet things are.
Oh my God! I hope to God you toasted them.
Oh, of course, my God.
Because a raw Pop-Tart.
It's like eating. It's like uncooked pastry. What is that? It's like that gummy.
It's not like uncooked pastry. It's like uncooked cardboard. Yeah,
it's like a.
I guess we're never getting the Kellogg's account.
No, Pringles, though. Come on. What's wrong with Pringles?
Please. Pringles.
Pringles is
I know, they're not real
It's an
chips,
interesting product because it's essentially a product not designed for you, the consumer. It's a product designed for the shipper and packager because
packaging
potato chips are so irregular. And if we could just get them all the same and delicate, if we get them all the same shape, we could stack them.
Right.
And so it's really designed, it's a product designed for the shipper.
Yeah.
They do taste pretty good.
They do.
Right.
Yeah. And they are vegan.
Pringles and beer. Come on.
The vegan people, in case like we're not a food podcast, but just so we're clear, vegan doesn't mean healthy, right? So, there's all kinds of things that are vegan that are not good for you.
True.
In
Very
fact,
true.
a lot of it.
German chocolate cake being one of them.
Mm-hmm. We had my daughter is not vegan, but she's a vegetarian, so we have vegan chocolate chip cookie mix, right? And she's been back at school now for a while, and the other night my wife's like, "Oh, I think I'll make the rest of these cookies." And I was like, "It's like sitting out. It's not even refrigerated. It's just like sitting out in the cabinet or whatever." And I said, "Well, there's no way that stuff is still good." And she goes, "Oh yeah, no, it's vegan. This will last forever." And I'm like, "Okay,
yeah."
You are describing a food item that is plastic. Yeah. It's not. You can't leave food out. So obviously, this thing is not food. It's something you can digest, but it's just not.
And by the way, a correction from the chat room: Pringles was not designed for easy shipment. Pringles was designed for the machine to create more chips per minute.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Well, efficiency is job one. Yes. Either way. Well, plus they come in those canisters so they don't break as much, right? I mean,
I think it was a win-win-win.
Pringles and like Ritz crackers, those are things my son eats a canister at a time of. Yeah. That's his,
teenagers. Yeah.
An entire sheath of these things just disappeared.
I confess, if there is an open Pringles can in my general vicinity, I'll have to take a slice.
There's no way not to. Yeah. There's no way not to.
Well, if you're doing that, folks, then be sure to load up on your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. So.
App pick of the week, Mr. Paul Thurrott.
Yeah, so I have two this week. Everyone here is probably familiar with Stardock. This is the company that, among other things, is releasing all these great utilities for Windows that Microsoft should be putting in Windows. One of them, I don't believe this has been updated in a long, long time, but they just released the 2.0 version of Stardock Tiles, which is basically an expansion of I'll call it the virtual desktop capabilities of Windows 10, combining it with a sidebar type panel on the side of the screen. So it's a way you can switch between different screens of apps and kind of, tile apps, I guess, in a certain way. So it is part of Object Desktop. So if you get that, you'll get that as part of it. By the way, Object Desktop is on sale right now for $29.99. I think it's normally, I want to say it's $59.99 normally. And if you just want Tiles itself, you can buy it separately for $9.99.
By the way, something marvelous.
Take a look at it.
Something marvelous is happening right now. I went to price out a ThinkPad X1 Nano, and look what Microsoft Edge is doing.
Look.
It's trying all the coupons it can find.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've
had some luck with this.
Is that built in?
Yeah,
it's built in now to the newer version of Edge.
It got $200 off the price I was quoted.
There you go.
I saved like $25 one day using it, and it's just kind of crazy. It just does.
It found 6 different codes, and it's just basically Lenovo must hate this. It's loading all the codes and reloading the page.
Let's say Lenovo's prices are fluid.
I saved $167.
Yeah, you should never pay full price for
never
anything.
Pay. Yeah, because Lenovo says it's a $3,349 computer. You're getting for an amazing $1,841.
Yeah, that's very typical over there. But
wow, that was cool. I didn't. So Edge, that's not even a plugin. It just does that.
Yep.
Coupon application.
You can shut it off, I think.
If you don't want to save money, you can shut it off.
$167. I'll take it. Yeah. It's funny because the coupon that Lenovo suggested was Think Feb, but the coupon that saved the most money was Think February.
Oh, it's pretty sneaky, sis.
Sneaky. Let's not leave off the ruary. That's my motto. Now for Mary Jo Foley's doing it again.
Actually, sorry. Real quick. I just have one more. One quick. This just real quick.
Oh, there's another one. Yes.
Firefox 86 is out. You should never use Firefox because it's terrible. But if you do, I'm just kidding.
I use Firefox, protection. Paul. Except I'm going to use Edge from now on. It just saved me $167.
I ever since they did the PWA thing, I've been like, just done. It's just done with you. But anyway. I know a lot of people use Firefox and rely on it. So one of the big reasons, of course, is the privacy and security stuff. And I feel like this feature needs to be said like total cookie protection. Dun, dun, dun. And I believe they're basically siloing cookies from each other instead of having one cookie collection, and it helps limit how they can track you from browsing from site to site. If that makes sense. Anyway,
yeah, that's what they say. Because so you have third-party cookie blocking. Every browser does that, but this will actually.
It's like cross-site cookies from a single.
Yeah, like Facebook, right? Except they've. I thought I've always had
another anti-Facebook initiative.
Well, Firefox has always done that with Facebook. Maybe it's just in addition to Facebook, it's doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool. No, I like Firefox. It's the most private of private browsers.
It has multiple picture-in-picture capabilities now. You can have multiple little videos floating around.
See, maybe it's not so bad, Paul. Maybe it's time to look at it. Give up Vivaldi.
You know, if they had coupons, we can talk.
That coupon thing. What the hell? That was wild. Developer pick of the week, Mary Jo Foley, 2 weeks in a row. She's got something for you developers.
I feel like it may be 3 weeks in a row even.
Wow.
What are you? You're really stepping on my toes here.
I am. But because you were lamenting how little Windows content there's going to be at Ignite, I thought I'd kind of try to make you feel better with the developer pick. So tomorrow, February 25th, there is going to be a free one-day virtual conference called the .NET Conference with the focus on Windows. So this is for .NET developers, but the content is all tuned to Windows. So they're going to talk about WPF, they're going to talk about Windows Forms, Visual Studio tooling, improvements. There's even going to be a segment led by one of our friends on Twitter, Jeremy Sinclair, who's a member of the community, about bringing Windows Forms and WPF to ARM devices. So if you care about .NET and Windows, you may want to tune in tomorrow for this. The URL is focus.netconf.net. And I'm betting if you miss that, there'll be recordings of all these sessions. Even Scott Hunter from Microsoft, who's one of the big vice presidents there focusing on developer and .NET, is one of the speakers. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a good event. I don't know if there'll be news out of it, but it should be interesting for people in the Windows community. So that's my dev pick.
Focus.netconf.net.
Enterprise pick.
This isn't technically an enterprise pick, but I'd say for anybody who's a business user or even just a consumer of PowerPoint, you may want to know about this. I was excited when I read about this today. It's a new Office Insider feature that takes your Word documents and automatically transforms them into PowerPoint presentations. So I'm terrible at making PowerPoint presentations. I don't make them that often, and when I do, I've forgotten how to do it, and it takes me forever. But this says when you use, this is in testing with Office Insiders right now, when you use the transform command, it will create a presentation for you based on the summarized sections of your document. It'll automatically add imagery, icons, videos, themes, and fonts, all using AI. This is exactly what I need if this works as advertised, because I don't really ever know like the best way to add, imagery to go in my PowerPoint, or how to think about what kind of font would look the best. So I just hope this works the way they're saying it works. Right now, it's available to Office Insiders in Word for the web if you're in the first release audience, and then it will roll out to all the web users shortly, they say.
I'm really intrigued.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this could be good. Because you remember I used to use Sway all the time as a way of avoiding PowerPoint.
Right. Right.
And Sway still exists, but it's kind of like on life support.
It feels like they don't care about it anymore. They
don't care anymore.
It's web only, right? Something like that.
Yeah. So I'm hoping this feature, the transform feature in Word, could help me when I need to do PowerPoints. We'll see.
I don't know if it's related to the Federal Reserve Board going down, but Reddit just went down. So
Did it really?
I think they're tightly connected.
I think GameStop brought them down. So.
I bet you it was the GameStop rally. Oh, boy. No, this looks good. So this will be in the next version of Office, probably, right?
It'll start on the web version, as many things do these days.
Yeah.
I know.
It's interesting. Let's get some beer in here.
Okay. So everyone knows delirium tremens, the pink elephants, all that.
Yes.
There is more than one delirium beer, and there is a I think it's hard to get, delirium black barrel aged beer, which is a Belgian strong dark ale.
Now, why does it say Huy Brewery?
I think that's the name of the brewery, right?
Oh.
That makes delirium. That has all the delirium brands.
I get it. So delirium is not the brewery. Huy is
however you say that.
I
know. We'll hear from our Belgian listeners how we just butchered the name of the
Flemish. So it's probably Huy.
Yeah.
Delirium.
So
this
there
good.
are beers that don't taste like beer. They taste more like spirits, and this is an example of that kind of beer. When you have a little sip of it, it tastes like bourbon pretty much to me.
Nice.
Vanilla, caramel, a little wood, and you can definitely taste the alcohol. There's some alcohol burn.
Put some peanut butter in there?
You could, I guess.
What's the ABV? Oh, 11.5%.
11.5. Yeah. So it's a sipper, but it really made me miss going to Belgium when I had a sip of this. It reminded me of all the good dark beers in Belgium.
I love the beer in Belgium. Beer and chocolate.
Me too.
Man, these people have their definitely have their priorities straight.
I know. Yeah. So if you see it, it's got a black bottle with an elephant on it. If you see it in bottles. It's called Delirium Black Barrel Aged, and it's really delicious, but definitely something for small quantities. I got to try it at my little local city beer shop here, and they had it on tap.
So with Rattle and Hum gone, you have a new local.
Yeah, it's my they're a bottle shop, and they also have like 12 or 15 taps too.
I guess you don't need conviviality nowadays. You just go in there, you get the beer.
I think we desperately need conviviality.
You can sit outside and drink.
Yeah. I have high hopes. They just approved the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Yeah.
I think it's really starting to roll. I think this summer you may actually be able to. But where will you go, Mary Jo?
Well, I'm sure if they can reopen Rattle, they will. They said they closed permanently for now, so I think they're probably going to look
permanently for now. That's good.
My guess is they're going to look for a new space.
Did they write the insider blog post for Microsoft?
Yeah, exactly.
Permanently for now.
Permanently for now.
Permanently for now.
Yeah.
But they'll. A lot of places closed during the pandemic here. Many, sadly, permanently, but. Some new places are popping up already, so let's see what happens.
Awesome.
Come to Lehigh Valley, Mary Jo. There's lots of good beer places here.
Yeah,
just saying.
You guys do have a lot of good beer places. You do.
Conviviality is coming soon to a local near you. Yeah. No, I feel I've maybe it's just because the sun came out, but I'm starting to feel a little optimistic, perhaps prematurely.
Good.
But my mom was going to get a vaccine in Rhode Island last week, and she got there, 88 years old. This is frustrating. She got there, and they said, we all went home because of the ice. She made it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You could have told her. Oh, yeah, no vaccine today. So, but she was able to get through to CVS. She got an appointment for Sunday, and they even made the second appointment. So,
yeah, my mom got hers too for a shot.
Just very encouraging. And I signed up. The state of California has a notification system, so Lisa and I, and actually the kids, signed up so that we get the text message when it's our turn.
Nice.
Conviviality, where everybody knows your name, coming soon. Paul Thurrott is at Thurrott.com, the book that he is now going to update if he can figure out what the hell is going on. Is at leanpub.com.
That might be a 21H1 update. I don't know.
Wow. It's the book you got to keep writing forever. Why? Didn't you hear them when Microsoft said this is the last version of Windows? That means...
And yet,
And yet,
it's made it harder to do these books.
Yeah. Leanpub.com. It's called The Field Guide to Windows 10. And man, it is up to date. And that's because this guy here works really, really hard on it. Thank you, Paul. And don't forget Thurrott.com. You get a premium membership and you can read all the great stuff behind the paywall. His development pieces are fantastic. Great stuff in there. Mary Jo Foley, all about
Can I put a plug in for
Please.
one thing on there?
Yes.
First Ring Daily yesterday had Stephanie Thurrott and Corinne Sams doing the podcast. And if you can see this, it's hilarious. The wives doing the podcast.
Oh, I have to watch it.
It's really good.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they did a good
hysterical.
job.
What was the
did a great
occasion?
The 1000th episode.
Oh, our wives answer your questions.
It was funny.
Oh,
It really was.
Isn't that adorable? And they did the whole show?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Wow.
And they answered
way-
questions about Paul and Brad that were pretty telling.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was like literally the most popular episode of this podcast ever.
It will be now. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It was
That's
good.
amazing. Wow. First Ring Daily 1000th episode. Well, how often do you do that? Every day?
Yeah, but it's usually it's short. It's not like a 2-hour
Daily.
thing.
I guess that's the hint is in the name. Mary Jo Foley has but one podcast, thank God, and it's this one. This one. Mary Jo Foley is, of course, at ZDNet. Her blog is all about Microsoft.com. Her page, her news page, it's not a blog. It's more than that. We do this show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1800 UTC. You can watch us do it live. The live stream, audio and video, is at twit.tv/live. Take your pick. You can, if you're watching live, chat live at irc.twit.tv. You hear I mention them all the time. They're very much a part of the show when you're in the chat room, irc.twit.tv. On-demand versions of the show at the website, twit.tv/ww. There's a Windows Weekly YouTube channel. You can subscribe in your favorite podcast app. That's probably the best way to do it. If you subscribe, you'll get it automatically the minute it's done. It's ready. Our editors do their magic of a Wednesday afternoon or evening. If you do not listen live, you can still interact with us because we've got a great forum. Mary Jo pops in from time to time, www.twit.community. We also have a Mastodon instance, our version of the... Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I got excited when you said you had a Mastodon, and then it went in a different direction.
I wish I had a Mastodon. You get those pot-bellied Mastodons. They never get bigger. You can just have them around the house.
Oh, that's what I need. Oh my God, a mini Mastodon would be the best.
The tusks,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's great. You just they run around the house. They're so cute. Those pot-bellied Mastodons, so cute.
You can attack those tiny little saber-tooth tigers.
Oh, I'm working on the saber-toothed tigers. Once we've got the DNA. As soon as we get that, we will be making those for you as well. Yeah, and we'll figure out a way to miniaturize at some point. The Mastodon instance is at twit.social. That's a Twitter. It's basically an open source federated version of Twitter, and I frankly think it's 10 times better. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. The conviviality is just around the corner.
Spring is coming.
Spring is coming. Yeah. We'll see you next time on Windows Weekly.
If you like Android with a heavy dose of fun and entertainment, then you're going to love All About Android. It's me, Jason Howell, along with my co-hosts Ron Richards and Florence Ion. Every Tuesday, we discuss the news items that matter most, the hardware and devices that are running Android, and the apps that run on top of them. Plus, we answer your email each and every week. That's All About Android on twit.tv.